Sometimes when he talks, I just get ready to run through a wall. You feel that
I
way?
was getting fired up over. I'm sweating, dude. I'm sweating over here.
Fired up. We're ready to go sell some stuff on the internet, baby. He's the Sultan of SWAT. He's the great Bambino. He's the ecom phenom. Oh, yeah. Taylor Holiday, everybody. Let's give him a big hand clap. Get in here.
You know, you guys are so high tech. I had to out tech you with my broadcast. I'm ready to. I'm calling play by play here, gentlemen.
I feel like he's Tony Romo right now, calling
that's my
games right now.
You really are. You're very Joe Rogan right now, and I'm here for it. You know, I heard that 2026 is the age of the great lock-in. It's the era of lock-in, and I heard that you shaved your head for the era of lock-in. Is that true? Oh my goodness!
Oh
my goodness!
Let's go!
Wow.
No, one of my other nicknames, Chris, is the ecom Madonna. I've got a lot of looks. I can mix it up with the best of them. So, but it's funny. We have this office, and there's like 8 of us or so in here now. We share an office with Skull Candy, one of our customers. Oh, did I lose?
No, you're good. We're just featuring you.
I'm just not used to your production setup. So we need some culture building in here. We're all on Zoom all day. So my wife dragged me into a Hyrox last year, and now our whole office is signed up. So we've got 8 of us. We're doing 2 relay races, old guys against young guys. We got pairs, and so we've got training today at 11:40 as a group. And so I'm in my fitness gear. I got my Born Primitives on. I'm ready to rock, baby. So it's the great lock-in is upon us. You know, we're trying to build some culture around here.
You know, I think that based on those statements, I think every agency in the space should beware. I mean, Taylor has shaved the head. The office is going out to compete. You know, now
what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
You're toast.
I don't know if it's fair, but that's capitalism, baby. It's not a fair game. Taylor, you have dropped an incredible list of 2026 predictions. I have to confess, I've been reading, not just skimming, but I've been diving in, and I feel like you've been reading my mail a little bit, or maybe I've just been reading your tweets, because I am totally convinced that a lot of these are pinpoint, hitting the nail on the head, and really going to change the entire landscape of our industry in 2026. There's a lot of change that is already here, and there's even more coming. Carson, let's bring up our first one here.
Chris,
give us.
I'm here for a little conflict, though. You've been saying that to all the girls. I've been watching every episode, and I have yet to hear you tell a guest what you disagree with. So I want my request is, as we go through this, I want you to tell me where I'm wrong just as much as I want you to tell me where I'm right.
I will do that on this first point that you are about to make. AI will break your brand guidelines, outperform your creative director. For 50 years, brand integrity meant enforcing strict visual rules, research, large amounts of money spent. Essentially, my takeaway from this and from your tweets on this, AI is better than you. Percentage of spend is over. And if that's the case, we need to lean into AI as much as possible. And we need AI to not only be prompted by me, but also take action from me instead of waiting to be prompted. Is that a good summary of the points you're making here, Taylor?
I think what I experience in working with lots of different customers is that the end output that's allowed to make it into the world is gated by a filtering system that's of a bygone era, which was that there is a creative director or human who owns the interpretation of brand and has, in some cases, created a structure in a brand style guide or whatever it is, and everything must pass through that filter in order to make it into the world. The problem with this premise is at the same time, everybody's yelling about creative diversity and the necessity for creative diversity to exist in the world. But these things are antithetical to one another. They're like, it's the antithesis of the process. And so what happens is that the tighter that gate is, the more difficult it is to create creative diversity. And so what happens is that AI is unbounded by your preconceived notions of brand. And oftentimes the biggest limitation to expanding your brand into areas it hasn't yet been, including new audiences and new growth, is your preconceived notion of what your brand is. That actually exists only in your head and not in the customer's head at all. And so I think that there's a lot of ways in which the limitations that we place on top of the AI are actually preventing us from getting the benefit of AI especially when it comes to creative.
So I would totally agree on that. And just keep us here, all three, Carson. I totally agree with all of that. I think the implication, though, is that eventually the creative strategist completely goes away. They do not exist.
Well, yeah, it shouldn't exist. It's the worst role in all of e-commerce. You heard that here. It is the worst role in the industry.
Why is it the worst?
Because it's an absolute pseudoscience full of nonsense, right? Like, one of the most it's horrific. It's the work being done in this arena is the worst work in the whole world. Because there's all this attempt to build these causal relationships between attributes of ads that are sort of subjectively interpreted and then applied as future causal outcomes, and they just don't exist. They don't exist in any way that we would wish that they did. In fact, one of the biggest illustrations of this is that, like, the same ad replicated and distributed multiple times in different times of the year at different moments of the day would all generate different outcomes. The same ad would generate a different outcome all the time. But yet we attempt to sort of do this work, which is like, look at an ad result, extrapolate some set of features in that ad that we believe then, if we replicate, will produce similar or better results than the previous ads. But those relationships don't exist in the way that we would hope that they do. And so there's this whole workflow that exists in our world that's like a giant waste of time and money. That is like people attempting to interpret data and then turn it into attributes, subjective attributes, recreate them and republish them. That's like the worst of our world.
So
that's just,
I think that point that you are making, it's a pseudoscience. We don't really know. Launch it at several times per year, you get different results. I think all those points are true, well taken, applicable for the vast majority of us. I will say, though, there are some people in our sphere who seem to have a pretty tight grasp on actually making ads that perform really well, making short form.
I've never met
that consistently performs very well. And I think the truth is borne out by them keeping their clients for long amounts of time, by them producing social videos on their own accounts that vastly outperform the rest of us who are endeavoring to do the same thing. These people do exist in our ecosystem.
Well, so you're describing two different things there. One is talent. That's like the creators that can go make a bunch of content that are successful. That's different than them being able to go turn you into a star or anybody else into a star repeatedly and consistently under some framework. I think that's very different than the job that a creative strategist is doing too, on behalf of like making ads for brands. And I've been doing this 12 years. I've never met the person that generates disproportionate success in ad creative relative to any other person's attempt at the effort.
Well,
if you know them, I would love to meet them, and I'd love to see the evidence that that's true.
Well,
that's all I'd ask for.
Many of them have successful businesses by which they make significant amounts of money throughout the entire year.
So what I would say is that the business, there are varying levels of creative success that businesses have. The question, though, what happens a lot, though, is that, like, if I were to go make successful ads for Nike Strength, we work with them as a partner, okay? The same group of people, my same creative design team, will make ads for Nike Strength that wildly outperform many of our other customers. Like, in that scenario, it has nothing to do with the design capacity of the individual doing the work. It has to do with all the legacy and ethos that's built into the product and the brand of Nike Strength.
That's an interesting point.
And those same humans, the same design people, same talent, same intellect, produce wildly different outcomes for all these different brands. Why? Why doesn't that individual replicate their same success at every brand? If it's about the asset, like, there's so much more to it than that, right?
Oh, I agree. I agree. There's more to it. Go ahead, Colin.
I was going to say, so then your, North Star would then be for a brand to make truly incredible branding, to build up the brand into a premier brand, to actually help the lift overall of all media ad creative that goes out.
Yeah, and I think we're on the edge of a very deep rabbit hole about what you mean when you say branding.
Exactly.
But the example I give, I'll use Kalo. Like, when I was running marketing at Kalo, and if I wanted to drive adoption of a silicone wedding ring amongst CrossFitters, the way I would make the ad account awesome was the following strategy. We identified this community that we wanted to become endemic to, CrossFit. And so what we said, okay, is here's all the things we're going to do. We are going to look at an influencer program that involves different tiers. At the top, we're going to have the best athletes wearing our product. So we identified Julie Fouché and Jason Khalipa as the face of the brand. We went and shot long form content with them. They became ambassadors. That was part of our program. Jason was the voicemail on our customer service when you called it. Then we went to a secondary tier of influencers that we would pay for posts. So every time we launched a product, we would look at all the middle tier athletes. And every time we launched a new product in the category, all of them would post prior to the launch. Then we did seeding. We looked at every brand, every group of volunteers, everybody, every gym owner, and we would seed massive amounts of product to the organization. Yeah. So you had this sort of blanket of the influential people wearing the product. Then we sponsored every podcast. If you had 100 listeners in CrossFit, we would go and sponsor your podcast. We sent these giant 10-foot banners to the top 100 CrossFit gyms in the country, including custom send-out kits for all of their people. We went to the largest charity, Barbells for Boobs, and we did a partnership where we created a special ring and gave back to the community. We were a title sponsor of the CrossFit Games. And then after all of that, Facebook ads worked really, really well. And I look at that and I go, okay, well, because why? Because when the ring shows up in a CrossFitter's feed, there's this thing that happens, which is they go, oh, I heard about that on that podcast. And then I saw Julie wearing it. And then my trainer wears that at the gym. And so you've built around it a sense of meaning into the object that gets connected when it shows up on their feed. That's, to me, what like great Facebook advertising is. It's not what was the hook in the first 3 seconds of the da-da-da-da-da-da.
And your point is that if you insert yourself or another person having success in and around Kalo into another business, another account, simply replicating what we would consider great ads will not explode their business in the same format, create the same amount of winners. No. Correct?
And in fact, it's a giant waste of time to spend all of your energy on that effort. And it's what we get so lost in the sauce on, is that that the problem to be solved is like psychologically hooking someone into a piece of media for 3 seconds in order to then make them desire my object. And I just think it's such a shallow interpretation of what makes people want things and how to actually build a brand and community that means something to people and grows and has organic word of mouth and allows people to drive true connection to a thing. Well, and I think, but the feedback loops are so tight that it's like the dopamine hits are so high that it's so hard to get unhooked from that feedback loop and to try and win that game.
Well, I think that's a great message for founders because there's a lot of truth there to be had. There's a lot of applicable things to bring to your business.
Bruce Bolt's a great example, right, Chris?
Exactly. My point here is that though the majority of people who work in our industry do not have that kind of influence. They don't.
Then that's the problem to solve.
Agreed. And what I would say, my personal belief, based on my own experience, is that marketers and success largely follow the same route as coaches and athletes. The best marketers have the best products. The best coaches have the best athletes. That tracks anywhere and everywhere. There are coaches in every place and space who will tell you the exact thing. Now, that being said, there are a few outliers. There are. Kurt Signetti is a great example. He is unlike the rest of us. And what I think is that all the points you're bringing up here about AI being better than you, enable it to create ads on your behalf. Stop wasting your time focusing on only the first 3 seconds, blah, blah, blah. I think that's totally true for just about 99.9% of us.
I'm good with that.
And there probably are a few people out there who can genuinely create outsized results with the first 3 seconds.
But the thing is, they don't need us to tell them.
That's true. No, they don't.
So like if we're out here creating content to support entrepreneurs and help them grow, like the 0.001%, the Kurt Signettis aren't listening to us anyways. They're above and beyond us. They've scaled beyond us. So I think about it as like motions. What I feel like is that my content is built for the median. It's built for the middle of the market, and trying to help a brand owner who's at 4 million in revenue and trying to get to 12. And if they're spending all day in their ad account, like they're lost. If they're spending all day worrying about editing the hook and the thing, and they're lost. They need to unhook from that. And I think that's like the primary point here, is that you're not going to creative strategy your way to a substantive brand. Like the term can be, I am intentionally hyperbolic for the sake of trying to move the Overton window just a little. It's like the true belief is more nuanced. Are there people and processes that can be useful? Yes. I think it's primarily about like having a creative supply chain that's sourcing a diverse set of things, whatever. But the point is just that you want to build something that matters. Like, don't do it through this mechanism of trying to edgelord your way to like this slight gain on the next media piece that you put out.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. The vast majority of us need this exactly. And for persons working inside of the companies you just described who don't have their hands on those controls, they need to manage up a little bit, bring in some of Taylor's content, say, hey, what do you think about this? How would you advise somebody that was similar to me when I was working at Bruce Bolt? You were working with me. How would you advise that person, hey, to push the Overton window here inside your company?
It's hard because if your leader or your CEO is connected to this line of thought, we run into this a lot. Like we call them the account obsessed founder. It's the founder that comes to us and they've been managing the ad account themselves forever and they can't ever stop. They it's really hard if I'm in that organization to say to that founder, hey, you know what? You're actually not doing the CEO job. Could you go be a CEO, please? Like it takes a lot of gravitas to move someone like that. So to me, that's more about opportunity selection. Is that I just wouldn't join that organization. It's kind of what I told you, Chris. Like, and no offense to everybody involved, is that like I think it's really hard as an employee to change the culture of the organization if the CEO isn't on board with the direction you're going. I just don't think you're going to do it.
Well, this is a point that Colin brought up earlier, and also Alex has mentioned in recent weeks, is that really for marketers, you have to bet on the right horse because there's a lot of things you don't have control over. And so there's a good bit of evaluation that needs to go into this thing before I step into it, commit the next year, 3 years of my life to growing this thing. Do I have the right horse that I'm getting on to ride? And can we go to the moon if that's where we want to go?
For sure. That's right. Yeah.
Taylor, bring us into your thought here for brands. And I admittedly, I don't have anything to disagree with you on about this. I don't, but bring me into your thoughts here on IRL activations, the Truman Show brand. I think if there's a lot we can glean, utilize from AI, save ourselves the time from continually looking at the ads manager, it's going to free up human capital to put our energy into things that are going to actually win trust with our customers.
So yeah, and this is where you guys are doing such the smart thing. The end culmination of creative volume as an idea is perpetual live, right? Like if you follow this out long enough and you try, like if you think about, I'm making 10 ads a month to, I'm going to make 100 ads a month to, I'm going to make 1,000 to, I am perpetually present in the feed. That's what you guys have decided to do. And it is so smart. The best creator in the world right now is putting on the greatest masterclass in content creation ever developed. Do you guys know what it is? You know what I'm referring
to? Colin, what would you say?
It's happening right now.
Is it Mr. Beast with his city?
No, it's
IShowSpeed. I was gonna say Speed. He's doing a masterclass for us.
And it is content that is like more authentic and real than anything you could ever edit and put together. It's his life. He is living a reality that is so compelling that you would want to watch it every second. Okay. This is a big thing for brands. I used to work with a sports brand up in Washington. I'm not going to say their name because I'm going to say something slightly negative. And one of the things that happens is that people try to disassociate the brand message from the reality of who they are as people. Okay. And so this brand was a 70-year-old legacy business that was stodgy and kind of boring, and they were old people, and they wanted their brand message to be technology and cutting edge. And you looked around their office and you just went like, that's not what this is. You can't fake the funk. Like what IShowSpeed is saying is that this is my life. I'm going to go to Africa and I'm really just going to go be me everywhere. And the content is going to be directly, most intimately connected to the authenticity of who I am. When your brand, the message you try to create, wanders off from who you really are as a person and who your brand and the people and the things that exist really are, it all falls apart. It's fugazi at that point. So for brands, what IRL does, and this is what I love about you guys, is that like it forces, the live thing forces the most intimate connection between the truth of who you are and the content. And that's what compels people. You look at guys like Marcus Malone or Strawberry Milk Mob or these people who are like, their office reality is a thing people want to be a part of.
Yeah.
They look at that and they go like, that's cool. This life is interesting and it's just real. And I think that piece of it and what live does is it's just us watching Kai Cenat or Aiden Ross or IShowSpeed live. And everyone goes, that life, cool. And so for brands, I think what's reality is there's a lot of offices that are cool. There's a lot of manufacturing assembly lines that are cool. Yeah. There's a lot of product development rooms that are cool. And so what's the missed opportunity is that you should just be showing it all the time. Just show you working through that product ideation process. Like I want to see that. I want to see what you guys are doing all day. And so I think that the end result of creative to volume is live. I think that's just the end result. And that there's going to be a brand that realizes that the thing they're doing is so compelling that throughout the day, any time of day, people will want to drop in and see it. And then you know what that allows to? What are you going to do? Go do after this, Chris? You're going to edit down to 1,000 different short form clips, because what will happen naturally is moments will occur that you'll go, ooh, got it, snap, grab it, clip it, distribute it, off you go, because it's streaming. The cameras are on all the time. And that's just the end byproduct of this direction. And you guys cheers to you for being ahead.
Thank you. We appreciate that. You touched on a little bit Strawberry Milk Mop. I don't think she is talked about enough and her family for what they have built.
World-class founder.
World-class, and it is really not talked about enough. I think people kind of poo-poo it because you're like, oh, you know, they're kind of like all over the place. But they have orchestrated this army of quote-unquote characters in their videos. And
it's the future.
It is the future.
It's reality TV,
yes,
meets commerce, meets social. It is the like perfect culmination of those things into one like brand identity in this way that like you tune in just to see what they're up to.
Yeah.
So that's entertainment. And so this is one of the things I put about the events thing, and why I used Hyrox as an example, is that brand, like the commerce budget right now, that the problem with the e-commerce, the truth is like the market's not growing fast enough for a lot of these brands to sustain the growth rates that they want. Like even at 18%, you know, like categorical growth or whatever, the problem is the supply of competition is growing faster than these categories. So if you're in like furniture, or like we have Fender as a customer of ours, like the guitar category doesn't grow very fast every year. It just doesn't. That's just like, and they know this. They go, okay, the CAGR for guitars is like 2 to 4% a year, and as long as we get that, our share of that, like we win. Like that's the reality, and that's true in a lot of consumer categories. This is like the big secret, is that like most of these categories are not growing, and but yet competition is spiking like crazy. So what brands are going to have to do is they need to unlock access to a different portion of consumer spending. And I think entertainment is a huge, massive category of spending for people. And it's growing. This sort of like experiential part of our spending world is growing all the time. So brands are going to have to, how do I get that ticketing, that travel, that entertainment budget, and draw it to me as a business? And I think you're seeing that happen in the Internet Invitational. Barstool is a customer of ours that are a great example of pulling this off. The Internet Invitational combined with Foreplay, combined with consumer product, equals access to lots of different publications or revenue types. Even for CTC has service revenue, but we also have media revenue that we get from the sponsorship of our own content. And so being able to pull in from multiple revenue streams for a lot of these brands, I think is going to be a piece of it.
I think this IRL point is well taken, and everybody should hear it. A couple of years ago, we had a collaboration with a big brand here in Texas. I was at Bruce Bolt at the time, and we were going to pack out a restaurant with a creator that everybody knew and loved within the niche. And the restaurant only wanted 200 people to be there. I intentionally blasted it out to everybody that could physically possibly come, and we got 1,200 signups within 10 minutes. I think the 2026 version of that is actually charge people for it. They'll happily pay, because AI slop is everywhere. We're all locked up in our homes on our screens, and people want to have access to exclusive, luxurious experiences that other people do not.
Yeah.
I'm glad to know this side of you, Taylor. Taylor's a brand guy. Taylor is a brand guy at heart.
Big time brand guy.
He really is.
Wow. Big time. And so much of my, like, the reason I poo-poo like ad creative is because I've just worked with so many different brands, and I know what makes the ads work. And it's not my magic ad creative, guys. I've been doing this long enough to recognize that this is a Floyd Mayweather game. Like, you want to be great in the service business, choose your partners. That's how you be great in this business. Have great customers, just like Floyd wanted to choose his fighters. That's how you go to 50-0, because you can't make bad things good. Like, you can help people realize they're bad faster, but you can't make bad things good. And like, I think that's like so much of what I've learned about this business is I want partners who are doing awesome shit. Like, I want people that are making amazing products and building great brands and caring for their customers and doing cool in-world life. This is why Brian Garofalo is the best executive I've ever worked with, and why I follow him around, literally physically, to his office wherever he goes, because he built Igloo and sold it. He's going to build Skull Candy and sell it, and then he's going to be the next CEO of VF and sell it, because he understands this. And he goes, Taylor, you do your digital thing, I'll do the brand, product, consumer thing, and we'll win over and over and over again. And that's the reality of what I've learned. Of like, the last thing I want to be is the reason the brand's succeeding. I'm actually uninterested in trying to be that.
Well, I think that's fair. And I think that's a good framing, especially for everybody who's in the service business. software enabled service business. Taylor, as we come, I know you're a busy man. We're coming to the end of our time.
I'm here for you, man.
You know, I know that to be true. That's why I love you. I do. I love Taylor Holiday. I have joked many times that actually our last names are the same. Somewhere along the line, you know, they changed, and now I'm here and you're there. But you will be here. Taylor's moving to Austin soon, and you know, you recently had a CTC, had a big win, fair. And it sounds like there's a really nice future coming up. It sounds like there's an exciting partnership that none of us know about yet.
Yeah.
Did you want to talk about that? We just wanted to give you the place and space to do it here live, just to tickle the ears a little bit.
Just a little teaser.
Just a
Yeah.
little.
What I'll say is that I have been a vocal antagonist to some people in our space. And oftentimes what that represents the opportunity to do is, in so much that people care, they reach out and we have opportunities to discuss our differences and maybe find ways that there's more common ground than it might appear at glance. Yeah. And so I'll just say that one of those partners out in the world and I have had some good conversations and have found, I think, some compelling common ground that is going to allow us to both carry out our missions. You know, I care a lot about helping entrepreneurs achieve their dreams. Our passion is always like the hungry e-commerce entrepreneur and helping them get the access to the best tools in the world and bringing the enterprise down to the SMB world and giving them the best tools that they need to be successful. And I think this is going to help us to carry that forward. That's what I'll say.
Well, whatever that is, it sounds exciting. And are we getting work?
Yeah, Colin probably experienced a little bit of that antagonism back at.
It's all good. It's all good. I appreciate it.
It was never personal.
I appreciate it.
I remember those days.
I like it. I appreciate it. I always want people to challenge opinions, and I want people to, you know, have I call them frame breakers. Like, you see the world in this frame, and if you can meet a couple frame breakers every year, where guess what, this frame is completely broken, you need to see it in a completely different way. I appreciate that, Taylor. Yeah. And I think you're a frame breaker.
Yeah, and this is so not serious. Like, there's no genuine hate. Like, this is like, we're talking about like e-commerce, selling things on the internet. And like, even Max and I still, Max Blank and I DM a lot now. Like, I've come to really appreciate like all the people in this space. I think the vast majority of the people here are trying genuinely to serve the interests of their customers and are doing the best they can. And we're all after that in for the most part, a really well-intentioned way, I think.
For sure.
Taylor, before you go, I have been meaning to tell people this. There are a few things that I learned from you when you spent some time coaching me very graciously and ingrained yourself in my life. Number one, I don't know that people know this, but they should. Taylor is our little world's Jocko Willink. He really is. And the reason that he is, the first thing that he told me when I was describing, hey, here's what's going on in the business. Here's the frustrations I have. We need to do this. They're not listening to me. They're not doing that. You know what he said? He said, it's your fault. It's your fault, big boy. It's bad on you. Don't point the finger elsewhere. It's your fault. You're the reason this isn't working out. You need to look inside here. And then let's talk about the 10 things that you need to fix.
And we just keep having that same version of that conversation, Chris, over and over about everything. Every time we get together, I think it's like, okay, I'm gonna go take my lashings from Taylor. I'm just gonna go catch up.
Lashings from Taylor.
You know,
but dude, it's only because I just believe so much in you, and that I would just rather you have the authority over your own life than be subject to somebody else's desires. That I think you could do whatever the heck you want, and you're proving it with this. It's fun. It's fun to watch. I love seeing you in this place. It's really cool.
Well, that is a great frame. Internal locus of control. We really do have agency in our lives. We're not just, subjectively at whims of everything else going on. Secondly, I would say this, and this I do genuinely think CTC is best in class on that I have seen. You helped me create a professional system for reporting, operating a team, tracking responsibility. I tend to be the one who likes to fly by the seat of my pants a little bit, just go by those levers and wheels. And that's a good number there. Let's keep pushing this thing. CTC and what you guys have built at Statless, I think what you do with your software enabled service, to me, truly outstanding. And we appreciate you coming on the show.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you guys.
Round of applause.
Looking forward to stopping by whenever you guys need me and kill it, man. Don't just keep showing
Let's
up.
go.
Just keep showing up.
We're going to do that.
Good work, gents.
Thank you, Taylor.
Carson, round of
All right,
applause.
boys. Take
Carson,
care.
round of applause for
Yeah,
our
yeah.
good friend. Wow. That guy deserves it, man. That guy deserves it. Wow. He's a spitfire. He's a spitfire. You know, I feel, sometimes when he talks, I just get ready to run through a wall. You feel that way?
I was getting fired up over. I'm sweating, dude. I'm sweating over here.
Fired up. We're ready to go sell some stuff on the internet, baby.
I'm ready to go to the Super Bowl tonight.
I think a number of his points are so applicable, and I hope that everybody will take heed.
For sure.
Wow, really good.